Hi, I'm Hillary Reynolds and I'm back with another Sensible workshop. This is actually going to be just a short video to show you some of my favorite organizing tools. I've had some people ask me about how I keep everything straight, and so this is going to be just a real quick run through of some of my tools that I like to use around my house that are extremely inexpensive. They are definitely under $5, most are around $1, and there's even a freebie one that you too could get in there. So we're going to start with these. The cloth grocery bags, the recycled grocery bags that you bring in to bring your groceries home. I use these all over my house. I have them in the top of my closet, full of the gifts that I've bought that I want to keep organized, and they're up high and they're dark so they hide things well, and they hold their shape well, so as they're all full side by side. I also have them in the back of my truck. My Suburban has a back hatch, and when you open the hatch door, you have the back of the headrests of the bench seat. And so around each of the back headrests, I have one of these looped. And in one of them is spare changes of clothes for my children. And in another one, I have some towels, because you never know when you're going to go to the park and the slide and the swings are all wet, or somebody falls in a puddle, or you never know as a mom. So I use them to help organize my car. The other thing, the main thing I love these for, and I can't take credit for this, my husband found this online, is to organize my chest freezer. Chest freezers are generally considered to be much more efficient than upright freezers because of the physical law that cold air sinks, right? So when you open the door, your cold air is falling out on the floor, where in a chest freezer, when you open your door, the cold air is staying inside where you want it. The drawback to a chest freezer is generally the whole, I have to dig for whatever, I'm looking for. And I was really hesitant to get a chest freezer because of that very thing. But these are great. They hold a lot of weight, and that you can stack, and because they hold their shape, you can stack them. And so for example, in my main freezer, I have one that's full of packages of frozen berries. Another one is full of packages of sliced peeled apples that I did during the fall. On top of one of them, I have stacked another bag full of all my frozen bread products. And then another one, I might have like frozen butter or whatever other good deal I might have that I froze. In my smaller chest freezer where I keep my meat, I have one that's got all my seafood fillets, and another one has a lot of my meat products. Another one has what I consider convenience meats, where it's like hot dogs and bacon and sausage, that kind of thing. So these are wonderful for organizing a chest freezer. So for around $1, these can be used all over your house. The next thing I'm going to show you is probably the most expensive, but if you get it the right time of year, it can be really cheap. And that is these sweater hangers, they're called, or closet organizers. They can be pretty pricey, but I found that if you wait till the end of the back to school season, around the beginning of October, where the stores that carry these kind of things for dorms, they'll mark them down. I think I paid a couple bucks for this one. And I love them because they're great for like board games or art supplies, that kind of a thing in your closets. But what I really love is we found in our garage that if we turned it sideways and tacked it to the wall and put it on, like ran it across a shelf, instant cubby holes. How cool is that? And so I have these down in my garage, and so each child has a cubby, and in the winter it can hold their ski goggles and gloves and helmet. In the summer, they're bike pads and mitts or whatever else you want to organize. So I do it by season. And then hanging off each cubby, I have a photo of each child. So my pre-readers know which cubby is theirs. Anyway, it's really a handy thing for instant cubby holes, and it can be a lot faster and a lot less expensive than actually constructing them. So keep your eye out for those during back to school season. Heading into the kitchen now, I really recommend getting you some of these. I have my kitchen drawers fairly organized. I'm not obsessive about it, but it's really nice to be able to go right to the measuring container when I need a measuring spoon and not be digging around in drawers full of all sorts of utensils. These usually come in a package of 2 or 3 for around $1 or $2. At the dollar stores, if you live near a dollar store, you can usually find them very inexpensively. This one, I just trimmed it down a little bit with a pair of scissors, and it has all my measuring cups and spoons. It's really nice just to be able to open the drawer and know that it's right there. So I love that. This one is a narrower one. I have my cheese slicers and grater in there. So that's great. I know people that have scrapped a silverware tray altogether and they just use these for forks and spoons and knives and whatever. They're easy to pick out and put back in. So this is a really handy time-saving tool in the kitchen to help you organize your cooking utensils. Love those. Another kitchen item I really love are these little white lids that they've come out with in the last few years that fit mason jars. This is a wide mouth. They also have them for narrow. They're usually, I think, in packs of 10 or 12 for a couple bucks. And I love them because for little bits, if you have like nails and screws or things, little pieces you need to organize around the house. But for me, I mainly use them in the kitchen to organize my refrigerator, where I make a lot of my own sauces and dressings and yogurt and stuff. This nice flat lid lets me stack them, where when I was using like leftover bottles and packaging that came with other things, it just didn't look as neat and you couldn't stack them and get as much in. So I really recommend these, and you can use them on the big quart containers, or this is just a half, or this is a pint container. You can even use them on the little half pints. So I really like these lids to help organize around my kitchen. Another thing I use in the kitchen, and I actually use these all over the house, are these shoebox sized little storage tubs. Again, I love them. They're usually around $1. You can stack them. They have all different Sterlite. This is a Grip Lock brand, but usually if you get them within the same manufacturer, they're made so you can stack them. I have these to organize under my bathroom sink. One of them has all our travel size containers of things and like our toothbrush holders and whatever for travel. Another one has my cotton balls and Q-tips and nail polish. Another one has like our hair clippers and barber shears and all that kind of stuff. Stuff that you don't use all the time, but when you want it, you don't want to be digging around under your sink to find it. You just pull out the tub and there you go. I also have them under my kitchen sink. One of them has like a little mini tool kit I made for me to have in the upstairs of my house, in my domain. I have another one that has all those mop diaper pads that I've talked to you about in one of my other workshops that I make, the pads for my Clorox Ready Mop that I use made out of old cloth diapers. I have those stacked in one of these. For a lot of my different cleaning things, I use my ingredients to make my different cleaners. So this is just a great way to organize the under your sink so you don't have just a bunch of junk thrown under there you're having to dig through. And again, it's another time waster when you have to do that. And probably my last thing, and this is the freebie thing that I just love, are bakery buckets. Now they're not the prettiest organizational tool, but you could pretty them up with some scrapbooking paper if you wanted, or something, contact paper. But these are great. They're food grade plastic tubs. They are wonderful for if you want to be able to start buying like the big bags of rice or sugar and flour and divide them up. They stack, so you can stack these buckets. You can use them in the garage. You don't have to use them just for food, but it is nice that they are food grade. If you're looking for places to store them, I did read one article I thought was interesting. A woman was talking about the ways in which she stores creatively around her small apartment. And she actually took a couple of the bigger ones of these and filled them with things. And then she stacked them and put a round tablecloth over them and basically made an end table with them. And it looked just like a little round end table, but it was really some stacked bakery buckets full of rice or whatever. So these are really handy. They're usually free. I did see online that there's some stores down south where they might ask $1 or $2. Up here, I go to my local Costco and Fred Meyer and just ask the bakery if they have any buckets, and they just throw them away. And these are great. This is how they get their icing and their shortening for frying their donuts and their glazes and things are in these buckets. And so for them, it's just packaging, and for us, it can be a real treasure. So definitely next time you go to the store, check on the availability of these in your area and use those. So that's it. Just a really quick speed through on some of my favorite things around my house to organize. I hope this is a blessing to you. And until the next time, God bless you and your families.